In the first 24 hours of my last MSC cruise, I watched 3 disasters unfold. A couple missed their shore excursion, a family paid way too much for drinks, and one poor guy watched the ship sail away without him after a delayed flight. After 11 MSC cruises, I can tell you these aren't rare. They happen to dozens of passengers every trip. The good news? A little pre-cruise prep can save you from all of them. Hey everyone, welcome back to Cruise Log. Today, I'm breaking down the 20 most common mistakes I see on MSC cruises and how to dodge them so your trip stays nothing but smooth sailing. So let's jump straight into the first one, a mistake that drains more wallets than you'd ever guess. Here's a little math shock for you. On my last MSC cruise, I met a couple who bought their drink package Onboard. By the end of the week, they'd paid almost $120 more than I did for the exact same thing. A lot of first-time cruisers think they're being clever, waiting until they're on the ship for a better deal. But after 5 MSC cruises, I can tell you, it's never cheaper once you're on board. Prices are almost always 10 to 20% higher. Savings vary by package and itinerary, but I've seen differences of up to $120 or more. Buying ahead doesn't just save money, it means you can start using it the second you walk on board. No lines, no hassle, just clinking glasses before sail away. So if you already know you'll enjoy more than a couple of drinks a day, coffee, wine, cocktails, lock it in before you leave. That's an easy win for both your budget and your vacation. Sleeping under the pool deck sounds fine, until lounge chairs start scraping across the floor at midnight. By sunrise, any cruiser would feel less like they're on vacation and more like The Walking Dead. That's what happens when you let the cruise line pick your cabin without checking the location first. Sure, you might save a little money, but you could end up under the nightclub next to the elevators, or in a connecting room where sound travels like it's on loudspeaker. The fix? Before you book, pull up your ship's deck plan on MSC's website. See exactly what's above and below your cabin, and avoid those noise zones. And if you're not sure where the sweet spots are, a good travel agent can help you find them. They know the ships inside out. A quiet cabin isn't just about comfort, it's the difference between waking up refreshed for your port day and wishing you could sleep through it. At Sail Away, the longest line on the ship wasn't for cocktails, it was at the internet desk. One guy at the front looked like he was about to cry. He'd forgotten to buy his package. He just boarded, realized he forgot to buy the package, and had an urgent email to send. 18 people were ahead of him. By the time he finally got online, the Sail Away party was wrapping up, and he'd missed the best part. Just like with the drink package, it's always cheaper if you buy it before you board. Onboard prices are higher, and you can forget about a surprise mid-cruise sale. It's not happening. When you lock it in ahead of time, you skip the line, log in the moment you board, and actually enjoy that first cocktail instead of spending Sail Away clutching your phone in a queue. And if you're worried about spending too much time online, pick the smaller plan. You'll still have a lifeline for quick updates without turning your balcony view into an office window. On my last MSC cruise, we had 5 port days in a row, paradise for anyone who loves exploring. But one morning, I saw a group step off the ship, look around and just freeze. No tour book, no idea what to see, no Wi-Fi to even check. 10 minutes later, they were wandering toward a random souvenir shop. Completely unaware they were a short taxi ride from one of the island's most famous beaches. By the time they found out, it was too late to go. The truth is, you don't have to book an MSC excursion every time. In many ports, local guides wait right at the terminal, often cheaper, sometimes even better than the ship's tours. But that only works if you've done your homework first. Check reviews, compare prices, and download Google Maps offline before you go. And if you're taking a taxi, agree on the fare before you get in. Most are licensed, but surprise fares still happen. A little planning means you step off the ship knowing exactly where you're headed, instead of finding out what you missed when you're already back on board. Picture this. It's the second night of my cruise. I'm enjoying dinner, everything's perfect, until I feel this intense itch creeping up my arms. By dessert, my skin's covered in red, angry patches. I know exactly what would fix it. My cortisone cream. The one I debated packing. The one sitting nice and cozy back home. Here's the thing. Ship shops aren't like your local pharmacy. They have limited stock, sky-high prices, and on port days, they might not even be open. That night taught me my golden rule. If it keeps you healthy, comfortable, or sane, pack it. Medications, allergy cream, motion sickness pills, your favorite sunscreen, whatever it is, it goes in the bag. Even if you think, I probably won't need it. Because when you do need it, you'll thank yourself 100 times over. On one MSC sailing, I stood on my balcony watching a family sprint down the pier, rolling suitcases bouncing behind them as the ship was already easing away from the dock. They'd planned to fly in that morning, one small flight delay, and their dream vacation was gone before it even started. Air travel is unpredictable. Delays, security lines, traffic from the airport to the port. And remember, the all aboard time is earlier than departure, so you have even less wiggle room than you think. I always fly in at least a day early. Not only does it give me a safety buffer, it means I start my cruise rested instead of frazzled, and I get to enjoy a little sightseeing in the departure city. It's one of the simplest ways to avoid turning your cruise countdown into a race against the clock. You can lose more money than the cost of your entire cruise, just because of a few bars of signal. On day 2 of my last MSC cruise, I met a guy at guest services who looked like he'd just seen a ghost. He'd left his phone on after sail away, thinking he was still on his regular plan. Turns out, those bars you see in the middle of the ocean, they're from the ship's satellite network, and the roaming charges are brutal. His carrier had already racked up over $1,200 in less than 48 hours, and there was no way to erase it. The fix is simple. The moment the ship leaves port, switch your phone to airplane mode. If you've bought the ship's internet package, just turn Wi-Fi back on separately. That way, you control your connection and your bill without cutting yourself off completely. 5 seconds of habit can save you from the most expensive text message of your life. 5 minutes. That's all it took for one family's dream cruise to be over. Bags packed, kids in tow. They were at the check-in counter when the agent quietly shook her head. They didn't have the visa for one of the ports. The ship was non-refundable, and no amount of pleading changed the answer. Just like any other cruise line, MSC makes it clear. It's your responsibility to know the entry rules for every port. That means visas, travel authorizations, and the right ID before you even step on board. If you're sailing internationally, a valid passport is almost always a must. The only common exception is for U.S. citizens on a closed-loop cruise, one that starts and ends at the same U.S. port, where you can often sail with just a government-issued ID and birth certificate. Even then, some shore excursions may still require a passport. Destinations like Colombia or Honduras may turn you away without one. Skipping this check can cost you your trip, your money, and a lot of heartbreak. 10 minutes of research now can save you from watching your ship sail away without you. Nothing kills a port day faster than spotting the perfect pastry or seafood shack, then realizing they only take cash in the local currency and all you've got are US dollars. A few days into one cruise, that exact scene played out at a small European port. A passenger tried to buy a box of fresh pastries from a street vendor. No ATM nearby, no card machine, just an awkward smile, a polite sorry, and walking away empty-handed. And it's not just pastries. In some ports, the best seafood shack in town, that hidden art market, or the taxi to the viewpoint you've been dreaming about, cash only. For most Caribbean ports, US dollars are fine. But in parts of Europe, Asia, or South America, having the local currency makes everything smoother, especially for taxis, small shops, or markets. I always handle this before I leave home, ordering a small amount of foreign currency from my bank. It takes a few days, but it means I can step off the ship ready to go. Some ships may offer limited currency exchange, but rates are often poor, and availability isn't guaranteed. And yes, You could get cash from the ship's casino by charging it to your onboard account, but that's not the cheapest or the most convenient option. A little currency prep now can be the difference between taking home the memory or just the regret. Some ports have decent Wi-Fi. Others, not a single bar of signal. And the last place you want to be digging through your phone for a confirmation number is in the middle of a crowded terminal with spotty service. That's why I still do something a little old school. I print out all my important documents, boarding passes, excursion confirmations, hotel info, and keep them in a waterproof zip bag inside a slim folder. It's compact, easy to grab, and immune to battery life. On one sailing, I walked straight through check-in in under 2 minutes because I had everything ready to hand over. Meanwhile, the couple behind me was juggling luggage, scrolling through emails, and getting more flustered as the line moved forward without them. Having everything organized means you can breeze through check-in, skip the panic, and start your vacation mood early. It might not feel very modern, but when you're holding up the line, no one's impressed by your smartphone. Not all travel agents are created equal, but when you find a good one, they can make your entire cruise experience so much easier. And the funny thing, for most passengers, their service is completely free. I'm still surprised how many people book everything themselves, especially first-timers who aren't sure which ship, cabin category, or itinerary is right for them. A skilled agent can walk you through your options, help you snag perks you might not even know exist, and, most importantly, step in to handle any issues directly with the cruise line if something goes wrong. I've had agents help me get cabin upgrades, find sold-out shore excursions, and even sort out last-minute booking changes without me spending hours on hold. It's like having a personal cruise concierge who already knows the system inside out. Sure, you can book on your own, but having a pro in your corner often means smoother sailing, literally and figuratively. These days, delayed flights and lost luggage aren't rare. They're practically part of travel. On one trip home from a cruise, my suitcase ended up stranded in Montreal after a canceled flight. The airline's tracking system couldn't tell me exactly where it was, but my AirTag could. I showed the staff the location on my phone, and they found it within minutes. Even on the ship, having a tracker can save you stress. MSC's luggage tags aren't foolproof, and every so often a bag ends up delivered to the wrong cabin. If mine ever goes missing, I can instantly see whether it's still with the porters, sitting in the wrong hallway, or already halfway to another deck. AirTags work perfectly for iPhone users, while Samsung Smart Tags or Tile trackers do the same for Android. They're small, affordable, and give you one less thing to worry about on vacation. For me, that's worth every penny. Not all cabins are created equal, and I'm not just talking about size or view. On MSC, the type of cabin you choose can also come with special perks that many passengers don't realize they have. Beyond the basic differences, inside, ocean view, balcony, suite, there's also the service level. For example, the Bella experience is the most budget-friendly but comes with fewer extras, while Fantastica lets you pick your cabin location. And then there's Yacht Club, which is almost an all-inclusive experience, complete with premium drinks, upgraded internet, and exclusive lounges. On one cruise, I met a couple who discovered on the last night that their package had included a free specialty dinner for two, which they never used. That's like buying a ticket to a Broadway show and finding it in your pocket after the curtains already closed. The key is knowing exactly what you booked so you can take full advantage of it. If your package includes perks like specialty dining, priority boarding, or free internet, don't wait until the last day to find out. A quick review of your booking confirmation or asking your travel agent to walk you through the benefits can ensure you get every bit of value you've already paid for. Imagine sailing 5 MSC cruises before realizing you could have been getting free perks the whole time. I met a couple who did exactly that. By the time they learned about the Status Match program, their one chance to sign up was gone. Years of discounted internet, onboard credit, priority boarding, even a free specialty dinner, all left on the table. If you've built up loyalty status with another cruise line, or even a hotel chain, MSC might reward you for it through their free status match program. It's a one-time opportunity to have your existing status matched to an equivalent tier in MSC's Voyagers Club, and the perks can be worth it. The trick is timing. Since you can only do the match once, use it for a cruise where you can really enjoy the benefits. Apply at least 14 days before your trip to ensure processing. It costs nothing, but missing it could cost you years of extra perks. Do you want to start your vacation with the sound of ocean waves or the sight of a loading bar stuck at 50%? The MSC For Me app is actually pretty handy. It gives you the daily schedule, lets you book restaurants and activities, and keeps all your onboard info in one place. But downloading it for the first time while you're in port or on the ship is a headache. Port Wi-Fi is usually slow, and the ship's internet isn't free. If you download and log in before you leave home, you can step on board, ready to check activities, make reservations, and see what's on that night, without missing sail away because you're babysitting a progress bar. 5 minutes of prep now buys you hours of stress-free fun later. On MSC, the main dining room has set seating times, and the earlier you book your cruise, the better your chances of getting the slot you want. I always lock mine in as soon as I book, usually the early seating, so I'm not cutting into a steak at 9:45 p.m. while the show I wanted to see started at 9:30. If you wait until the last minute, the prime spots are usually gone. You might get stuck with a time that throws off your whole evening, or you'll be put on a wait list, crossing your fingers like it's a lottery. Sure, you can still eat at the buffet or splurge on a specialty restaurant, but if you want that classic main dining experience at your preferred time, grab it early. On a cruise, dinner isn't just a meal, it's the start of your night, and the right timing makes all the difference. On one Mediterranean sailing, I met a man who slipped on a wet pier in port. He needed stitches and an overnight hospital stay. Without travel insurance, his bill, just for that one night, was over $3,000, and that didn't include the cost of catching up with the ship the next day. Travel insurance isn't just about medical emergencies. It can cover missed flights, lost luggage, or trip interruptions. On a cruise, where the itinerary is fixed, even one missed connection can throw everything off, and without coverage, you're paying out of pocket to fix it. While MSC doesn't require travel insurance, it's a lifesaver for unexpected issues. MSC offers their own plans, but it's worth comparing with third-party providers. Sometimes, you can get better coverage for the same price, and a good travel agent can help you figure out the best option. You hope you'll never need it. But if you do, it can be the difference between a frustrating hiccup and a financial disaster. MSC lets you register your credit card at self-service kiosks after boarding. Sounds convenient until you see the line. On embarkation day, those kiosks turn into the unofficial welcome party, except this one comes with 0 drinks and a lot of waiting. If you register your card online before you sail, your onboard account is ready the moment you step on board. While other passengers are still stuck in line at the kiosk, you could already be stretched out by the pool, cocktail in hand, and watching the shoreline slip away. It's a 2-minute task at home that can buy you an extra hour of vacation. And trust me, that's a much better welcome. Every night, MSC slips the daily program under your cabin door, a simple sheet with the next day's schedule. It's easy to ignore, but that's how people miss out on things they would have loved. On one cruise, there was a one-night-only dessert buffet at midnight, chocolate fountains, pastries from every corner of Europe, even a live band. Half the ship showed up. The other half? They had no idea it was happening until they saw the photos the next morning. The program lists weather forecasts, all aboard times, restaurant hours, entertainment, and special events. My habit is simple. I scan it over breakfast, circle what I don't want to miss, and I've never been caught off guard by a schedule change. It's basically your cruise playbook. Read it, or risk watching the highlights happen without you. At home, you might change outfits once a day. On a cruise, you could change 3 times: morning excursion, afternoon by the pool, and a themed party at night. Underpack, and you'll be scrambling for something clean. Overpack, and you'll be dragging a suitcase that feels like you've packed a small fridge, only to wear the same 3 outfits the entire trip. The trick is to plan around your actual itinerary. Check the weather for each port, note special events on board, and pack versatile pieces you can mix and match. Bring comfortable shoes for exploring, something nice for formal nights, and always pack sun protection and any essential meds. And remember, laundry service is available. You don't need a fresh outfit for every day if you're willing to have a few things washed mid-cruise. Smart packing isn't about bringing more, it's about bringing exactly what you'll use and avoiding hauling dead weight you'll never even take out of the suitcase. So there you have it, 20 MSC cruise mistakes I've seen over and over again, many of which I've made myself. The good news? Every single one can be avoided with just a little planning before you sail. Now I'm curious, how many of these have you been guilty of? If you realized you've made at least one, drop the number in the comments. Let's see how many of us are in the same boat. And if you've got your own lesson learned the hard way, share it. You might just save someone else's cruise. If you found this helpful, give the video a like, subscribe to Quick Cruise Tips channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next round of cruise tips and stories. Thanks for watching, and hopefully next time I see you on deck, it's with a cocktail in hand, not a problem to fix.